So maybe you can cover the definition of what the microbiome is and why it's important, why it is our gut health, why that's important, and making sure that we have a variety of the colonies of these different bacteria is important.
Yes, great question. So, the microbiome is this big city that I just described. Imagine if that city was literally calling the shots and helping your body decide. You won't believe it, but the microbiome is actually the outside world living inside of you. So if you go from your anus inside, it's an opening to the outside world. And basically, there's bacteria, there's viruses, and there's parasites, and they're all living there. And actually, they're making more of the decisions along with your own immune system than your own cells. So you only have one little layer of gastrointestinal cells in your body, but there's a thick layer of bacteria, viruses, and parasites that are just sitting there very naturally and are responsible for helping you. Like I said, it's a police force, it's a detectives, it's a lawyers. And so some of it comes when we're born. So that's why vaginal labor is so important, because as you're traveling through your mother's vaginal tract, you get a bunch of that bacteria colonizing into your own gut. And then some of it comes from our childhood experiences, lots and lots of. So in the first 5 years of life, your microbiome is like constantly sucking everything in. So that's why they've noticed that children who grew up on farms have better microbiomes. Children who grew up with lots and lots of other family members or animals.
More exposures.
Yes. And so, I really, really think that your microbiome is the city, the center of this energy trifecta. And it's the place where not only digestion happens, but all the decisions on our hormones and our immune system happen. So during this time of COVID-19, you really do need to focus on your gut bacteria. You need to focus on your microbiome health. And same thing with hormones. So if I don't know about you, Jade, but I know when I was feeling tired, I was thinking, okay, there's something wrong with my hormones. And when you really look back, when you look at the hormones, it's all linked to the gut health as well.
Yeah.
So that, and microbiome, the microbiome is something that is not only in your gut, but it's also in your mouth. It's also in your vaginal tract. It's also in your underarms. It's on your skin. We are supposed to be colonized with trillions of bacteria. We're not supposed to be sterile. And so it's a concept that people don't even understand. Like, no, being sterile is not the goal. In fact,
and something you spoke to in the beginning, you were talking about we may have grown up eating more, before previous generations might have had more access to a variety of different fruits and veg and tubers and all these different things that we're not necessarily getting in our daily American diet. But I think a big piece of that too is the stuff wasn't maybe as sterile either. Like the dirt on it carries so many bacteria that might be important. Not that people should go out and eat dirt because there's other toxins going into that now that we live by freeways and such. But I think it's amazing how far we've come from that. And there's so much people can point to why we've become this progressive species for some reasons, because we have agriculture, we have these industries that allow us to have convenient food and quick and easy where we don't spend all day cooking it and such. But there's so much that's also been kind of robbed from our food because we're not doing the hands-on, personal work.
And obviously we're doing something wrong in modern life. They found out in London, like at the turn of the century, 1900s, when all these Londoners got rich and moved into the cities, some of the doctors noticed, wow, these kids of these richer people are getting all these problems like allergies and asthma. And so they researched it back then, and that was in the early 90s. And they were looking at the similar kids in the farm still, and they were healthier. And so they had this hygiene hypothesis that, hey, there's something bad about being super clean and being these city dwellers. So they weren't sure if it was like cleaner or was it something else that they were doing differently. Like, richer people may be eating different foods, or they may be not growing their foods and getting it from the farm anymore. So it was already discovered all the way 100 years ago, and we're feeling the manifestations of it really now.